Right, we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. And as always with these live streams, let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Welcome to the first of a series of videos this week. This is the first one. I think I've got 5 videos planned for this week. AV is okay. Thank you very much, Ben. The first one is very exciting because this is the new version of Great Western Trail. Great Western Trail, I say the new version. This is Great Western Trail Argentina. So for those of you who don't know, Great Western Trail is a game that originally came out 2016, I want to say. But then last year there was a new version of it, which is effectively a second edition of the game. But that was the first one of a series of 3. So we've got Great Western Trail, the original one, which had a second edition last year. Now we've got Great Western Trail Argentina. And then we've got Great Western Trail, I want to say New Zealand. I think it's New Zealand. If it's not New Zealand, somebody let me know in the chat what it is. Now, this is not going to be, well, no, this is going to be an informative video. But this is not a video where I'm going to unbox it and tell you everything about Argentina and what's different. Because I don't know. We're going to discover that ourselves. Yes, New Zealand. Thank you. Oh, right. So, yeah, very exciting. I've taken the shrink wrap off. But other than that, I haven't opened it. And I haven't actually, as I say, I haven't read anything about it. I haven't watched any other videos on it. So this is all new to me. Travel the plains with your cattle to create the best path to victory. Choose a ship from Buenos Aires before it sets sail to one of the great European ports. So the gameplay, while familiar, offers new twists for everybody to enjoy. So we've got ships sailing, that's new. Additional functions to your cattle cards, okay. New type of card. Expanded player boards with new sections and auxiliary actions. A new resource to collect. And there's a new solo mode, which is Pedro. So let's dive in. Yeah, hopefully llamas. If there's no llamas in this one, well, I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe that's the new resource. So we have a little brochure from Plan B Games. Thank you very much. We have the rulebook, which we will take a look at in a bit. And we have the Way of a Gaucho, which is the solo adventures. So it's got a separate book for the solo mode, which is this. And then we have the appendix with all of the neutral buildings in it. Right, okay. So, as I say, we're going to be having a look at that later because I don't know what's different in this game. But we're going to do the standard unboxing first. Now, I do have overhead lights on, and this is a shiny board. I am not the biggest fan of shiny boards for a couple of reasons. I just don't think they look as good as matte boards. But also, when you're live streaming and you've got overhead lights, you get all of this reflection. As you can see, they're all my overhead lights. It isn't aliens come to get me. That's tomorrow, I think. Yeah. Now, the new artwork for Great Western Trail 2nd edition took some criticism. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I did prefer the original artwork of the game. But yeah, you can see the amount of glare and reflection coming from my overhead lights. If I'd have known that, I would have probably turned the overhead lights off and the other lights up. But it is what it is. So there's the board. It looks familiar. We have starting space here. We've got a route. We've got a split route there. We've got a split route there. Split route there. Split route there. Split route there. So that's all very much the same. We're going to be putting buildings in these spaces, presumably. And we have these spaces, whatever they're called, hazard spaces, I think. But up here we've got some different stuff. We've got lines going off here. So that's all quite different. And we've got the train track here. Oh, but that's the end. This is the start. So the train goes all the way around there. I don't know what the reasons for that is. Maybe they couldn't fit it on. But anyway. We've got the market down here. We've got the stations up there. So yeah, a lot of similarities. And we've got the cattle market down here. Right. Player boards. Now, it did say these were bigger. And these are bigger. Let me just move that camera around a bit. There we go. Right. So these are the player boards. In the 4-player colours. These are thick. These are chunky. These are very, very chunky. Double layered, but even still they are chunky for a double layer board, and no warping yet. We'll see what happens. I mean, I took the shrink wrap off last night and there's no warping yet, So yeah, really, really big, thick, chunky boards. And we have 4 types of workers instead of 3. This must be the new resource, like a bag of corn or wheat or something. But yeah, that's similar. Oh, that costs 3 now. Okay. Movement tile will presumably go in there. That's the same as it was before. And yeah, okay. So yeah, so there's the new player boards. We've also got this. I think this is for the solo mode. This reminds me, you put something in here for the solo mode. I think that's what that is. We've got some nice bags. B's and C's, which is always nice. The insert also took a lot of criticism for the other version. And again, I can see that criticism. It wasn't great. The score pad. Take out some wooden bits. I don't know if there's anything underneath this or not. I don't think there is. Oh no, there is. Of course, all of the stuff. I was going to say, where's all of the punch boards and stuff? Right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 punch boards. Right, let's just zoom out while I open up this punch board. Right. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, we have these ships. So these ships are new, and it said they were double-sided. They're not double-sided. Oh, it must be these. Okay, so that's big. Yeah, so there's Rotterdam. And there's Rotterdam. Okay, right. Anyway, these are big. I don't know what these are. I don't know where these go. I think these must go to one side. But yeah, punch board, good quality components, punching quite easily. So the cardstock is bending a little bit, which is unusual. Normally when I get cardstock and I bend it, it doesn't bend at all. That's bending a little bit, but I am applying quite a bit of force. How's the money? Yeah, money's all right. So we got 1, 2, 3 Liverpool, Lav. We got the workers. It did bother me that they changed the colour of the workers from 1st edition to 2nd edition, and there didn't seem to be a reason for that. Well, they obviously got a reason, but I don't know what the reason is. So yeah, punch boards, 4 different types of workers. This one's got some new symbols on it that I don't know what they mean. In fact, I don't know what that symbol means anyway. Buildings. So it looks like each player has got 10 buildings, which will be double-sided. They're all punched evenly. That's good. So I assume it will be the same as normal Great Western Trail. That your first time you play it, you start with the A sides. Then after that, one player chooses at random which sides to start with, and each one is individual. So you could have like 1A, 2B, 3A, 4A, 5B, whatever. But then everybody plays with the same buildings. You've got the neutral buildings, quite a lot of them. More workers, more buildings. Right, that's all the punch boards. Cards. Let's have a look at the cards. So we've got 2 decks of cards. I'm just going to put the PTZ camera on for this. Do we have the little tabs so that I can know? If anybody from Plan B watches this, please can you speak to your production company, because people like me need the little tabs on these that you can then peel them off, because that is no use to me without getting a knife or my teeth or a pair of scissors. Let's use a blunt spoon. Yeah, it's one of those things that really bothers me, because most games seem to come with the little things that you can then rip off and open up, and it's just nice, and this is just a pain. It's because I've got weak nails, so if I was to actually try and use my nails, they'd just break. We've got bits everywhere. Anyway, one of those things. So, oh yeah, I could have used the sword, couldn't I? Slight overkill, but I could have used the sword. Right, let's have a look at these cards. Let's zoom in a little bit more, actually. Is the right camera? Okay, so we're going to zoom in. Here we go. Now, apparently there were new options for the cards, and maybe that's this. So this is the victory points they're worth, that's the value. Yeah, there's this new icon here. Looks like some kind of farming implement. But other than that, stuff that we already know. Objectives, yeah, we know them. They could probably work in the same way, I would have thought. Oh, that's different. That's a different kind of objective. Don't know what that one is. And that's one to do with the ships. So yeah, there are some differences there. Now, I don't know what this is. Yep, not sure what these are. But there's a lot of them. Okay. These are for the solo mode, I think. Pretty sure they're the solo mode. I'm not sure what these are. These might be for the solo mode. They might not. I'm not going to open the other pack. The other pack is probably just cows and stuff as well. But let's have a look at the rulebook, because I'm going to now spend 5 minutes or so just having a look through and seeing what is different in this version. Which view should I have? Let's have that one. Okay. So join Paul as he reads through the Great Western Trail rulebook to find out what's different. Great Western Trail is one of my top 10 games. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the game. I think it's a work of genius. And I'm very excited about Argentina because it's Great Western Trail but with a few twists. And I want to see what those twists are. And I want to see if it improves the game or changes the game. I don't know. I'm not expecting an improvement. I'm just expecting something a little bit different. So, game board setup. Right, we've got these city centres here. This is step 12. Place the 3 city maps above the game board, with Le Havre to the left, Rotterdam in the middle, and Liverpool to the right. For your first game, turn all 3 maps to the A side. Okay, so we've got 3 maps. It's always 3 maps above the player board, above the main board. Okay, right. Anything else that we do different? Game board, station master tile, that's the same. Neutral buildings, that's the same. Job market, worker tiles in the bags, that's the same. So we've got farmer tiles. So from the Buenos Aires supply, where's the Buenos Aires supply? 51 farmer tiles. So there are 57 worker tiles and 51 farmer tiles. Turn them face down. Right, let's have a look at the components list. Right, so the farmers. Right, so we've got workers, the gauchos, the carpinteros, and the maquinistas, right? But then we have farmers. So we've got 4 types of farmers. Green farmers, blue farmers, orange farmers, and yellow farmers. Right, okay. I've sorted them by the letter and put them in the corresponding bags. So do the workers and the farmers get mixed up together? Okay. Let's have a look at the backs of the tiles. The farmers are the... no, they've got different backs. Yeah, so that's the backs of the workers, and these are the back of the farmers. I think it said all farmers have the same back. No, the farmers have got A, B, and C as well. I guess you do. I guess you put them in the corresponding bags. Place the bags next to the game board, close to Buenos Aires, which is up there. Okay, and then from the Buenos Aires supply, draw 5 farmer tiles with the A on the back. Place them one. I'll go into more detail later on. But yeah, it looks like we get farmers to start with on the board. Foresight spaces, that's the same. Battle market's the same. Objective cards is the same. Player setup. You get the 10 private buildings, that's the same. You got the discs, you got the engine, certificate marker, grain marker. So that's the new thing. Is you've got a grain marker which goes on the bottom here. And you've got, oh gosh, what's it? It's not a cowboy, it's an estanciero. Is that the equivalent of a cowboy? 14 cattle cards with that. Start player, money, etc, etc. Right, so grain is a new thing. Object of the game. I'm going to just skim through this, see if I can find out, just from looking at it, what's new. It's a shame there isn't a what's new in this version. Let me just have a look at the back to see if there is a... If you already know Great Western Trail, just read this. That would have been really nice. Not there. That's okay. So that's the same, that's the same. Movement's the same. Yeah, I'm not sure what you do with the grain, but there are certain options that give you grain. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat. I've missed the ships. Ah, ships is new. Where do the ships go? Ships in set. Oh, here we go. Loading zone. Step 11. Of the 18 ship tiles, lay out the 11 with the sun icon on the right hand side of the board. Okay, right. So there's a whole load of ships at the start of the board. David says the objective of the game might tell us. Yeah, let's have a look. Along your path, perform actions, various ways to earn victory points, buildings, buying cattle. Each time your estanciero reaches Buenos Aires, you must send cattle and grain off by ship to Europe. Right. You collect the grain and you send it off when you get to Buenos Aires. Afterwards, your estanciero continues its movement again in the lower right-hand corner. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the part where you need grain for the ships and for Buenos Aires. You check the Buenos Aires phase. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. So when you get to Buenos Aires, backwards, forwards. 4, Buenos Aires. 4, here we go. Right. So extra delivery. Even before you receive income and load cattle, you may carry out an extra delivery in one of the 3 European port cities. Get one of the port cities again. To do this, at least one of your player discs must be on one of the 5 keys of the 3 city maps. Okay. If you have multiple discs, you must choose one, since you may use no more than one. Each of the 4 quarters shows a certain amount of grain that you must deliver if you want to place your chosen player disc. A free bonus space in the quarter. Right, okay, so you're collecting grain, and then when you get to Buenos Aires, if you've got a thing on a key, you get to deliver the grain there. And then you reveal your hand and you do all of the other stuff the same. So yeah, that extra delivery, that is a new step for this. Oh, and those objective cards with the compass points, that's what that is. Okay, this one wants money, actually. Do you want money or grain? Or is this the grain cost? This is the grain cost. Grain cost is here in the quadrant. Presumably, that's the money that you get. Yeah, that must be the money that you get. Okay, right. So ships. How do the ships? Let's scan through the rulebook and see if I can see the ships. Here we go. Using your action if you're reached location. So loading. There is an action for loading. That for which you just received your income. Oh no, this is phase B still. Ah, this is phase B. Buenos Aires. Step 3. So once you've done the cattle, once you've actually loaded it, you must now load it onto a ship. The sales of each ship show a loading value that corresponds to your cattle's total breeding value. Let's get a ship out. Yeah. Okay, so here's a ship. Ship space for player discs. Loading value is at the top. City banner with departure time. Right, okay. So you're not just delivering the cows to a random place anymore. You're actually delivering them and deciding where they go. They go on a ship. Presumably this is historically correct. If anybody knows, is this what happened? Did they ranch herders get the cattle and then ship it off to Liverpool? I don't know. This from the white gunners complete. Yeah. Right, okay, so that's the bit that's different. You're collecting grain, you're delivering grain, you're also doing this. I am keen to know, but I'm not going to look this up now, because Vicky's just got home. But I am keen to know about this top section of the board here. What this whole branching off here does. I'm not sure what that does, but I will find out. And I also want to know why your train loops back into the board, whether that's relevant or not, or whether that's just where they put it, just so that it was put somewhere. What time period is this set in? It's a very good question, Peter. Let me have a look. If your train is far enough, you can go to Buenos Aires. But I thought Buenos Aires was up here. I thought this was where you started. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look, see if we have any theme at the start. Argentina at the end of the 19th century. So there we go. Victorian England, Sherlock Holmes time. You are delivering your cattle to the nearest loading ramp, transporting them by train to Buenos Aires to be shipped abroad. Ah, you're transporting them to Buenos Aires. Yeah. I thought that was Buenos Aires up there. To earn money along the way, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, okay, so there we go. If this is before refrigerated chips, you'd probably be sending live animals. Yes, I assume you'd be sending live animals. I don't think you're butchering them before loading them on. Anyway, am I going to get a playthrough of this done before Essenspiel? That's not up to me. So I've got 2 unboxings this week. Today, we've just done an unboxing video for Great Western Trail Argentina. On Thursday, I'm doing an unboxing video for Lacrimosa. And I've managed to squeeze in an extra playthrough night next week. So next Wednesday, I will be doing the live Q&A as normal. So that'll be the... What day is it today? Tuesday? It's 21, 28. Yeah, so the 28th. So Wednesday the 28th of September, I will be doing my live Q&A as normal from 5 till 6:30. But then I've got some friends coming over in the evening. I've managed to squeeze in an extra games night before Essen. And it's going to be my Patreon supporters that are going to vote on whether we're going to be playing Great Western Trail Argentina or whether we're going to be playing Lacrimosa. So I can't tell you. But I will tell you that Wednesday the 28th, 8 o'clock in the evening, I will be playing one of those games. And I'll be putting the poll up for my Patreon supporters at some point in the next day or two. So yeah, if I don't cover it then, I will be covering it at some point. It's not a sponsored playthrough or anything like that, so I've just got to try and fit it in around all of the other stuff. Also, if you are coming to GridCon, this is going to be in the Hot Games library at GridCon. So if you wanted to try it, then you can book it out and borrow it at GridCon. For those people who don't know, GridCon is my own convention in the UK that's happening in November, and it's going to have lots and lots of new Hot Games, and this is going to be one of them. Anyway. We're all done for now. I'm going to sit downstairs in front of TV tonight and do the enjoyable job of punching this all out. I might not use the insert because, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of inserts like this, as I've mentioned a number of times. And the reason for that is I quite often pick up my games and carry them to Games Club vertically. And if I put all of the stuff in here, then when I carry the game vertically, half of it's going to fall out. So for me, I normally get rid of inserts and I just replace it with Ziploc bags for all of the counters. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're all done. Thank you very much for watching. Big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Obviously, these videos are not sponsored in any way, but it does take me quite a bit of time to put away everything that I was doing, set the studio up for this, and then put it all back afterwards. So it's the Patreon support that effectively funds the channel. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for making what I do possible. I will be back later in the week with some more playthroughs. What have we got? Tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing Spirit Island. So I'm going to be playing Spirit Island using the digital version. That's tomorrow night. Thursday, I've got another unboxing. That's Lacrimosa. And Friday is going to be Tiletum or Tiletum, however you want to pronounce it. New game from Board and Dice from Daniele Tascini and Simone Luciani. That's a playthrough. That's happening on the channel on Friday. So if you're interested in that, join me for that. Other than that, I'm going to disappear now. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. See you all next time. Bye-bye.